Hey, travelers! Another week, and it's
completely
different weather than it was last week. I thought we were on the cusp of winter last week.
No, this weather is really giving me an emotional whiplash. I can't handle this.
Yeah.
It's like, make up your mind.
As if 2020 wasn't bad enough.
I just want some normalcy. Just any
Ain't gonna have it.
No.
None of that this year. You can forget it. Not only is it that, it's an election year.
Just everything out the window.
Just if you're gonna crap on a year, this is the year to do it.
I was at work today and I had to take my ring off to do some stuff, and I put it in my pocket.
Yeah.
And I found out I had a hole in my pocket.
Oh, geez.
And so I called Stephanie. I'm like, I lost my wedding ring. And she's like, well, that sums up 2020 pretty nicely. She's like, yep, that's on par for 20. I found it, but yeah.
Well, that's unlike 2020.
Yeah,
right
that's not a 2020 moment. But I was like, and that's gone forever now. Who knows where I lost it? It was in my pocket for like half a day,
Amazing. Anyway, so normally we do Midwest beers. We're going to go slightly east of the Midwest.
I was traveling.
Troy was traveling. Yeah. So he was in the Pittsburgh.
Yep, visiting the in-laws in Pittsburgh. So I brought back beer from Grist House. Now, Grist House simultaneously makes me happy and very sad. Sad in that it was in my old neighborhood, and when I lived there in Pittsburgh, it was not there.
That's usually how it works.
They
out,
opened up like a year after I moved, and I'm like,
right. See, and that's my life, summed up. Everything good happens either before or after I'm somewhere, and that is including jobs.
Yeah. It's like you get a new job, and they're like, "Oh, you should have been here like 2 years ago."
It used to be so great.
You're like, "Oh,
wow."
We used to have more vacation time. They just got rid of that extra stuff last year, and you're like, "Of course."
Or it's the opposite, where you haven't worked there in like 10 years, and they're like, "Oh, things have gotten a lot better since you left."
Everyone gets like 2 months of vacation.
I know, of course.
Of course.
Why wouldn't it?
Why doesn't that happen more?
So of course you brought some torturous beers back for me because
if I'm coming back from the east,
they don't know how to make anything other than IPA.
Yeah, I mean
right?
at this point, hazy IPAs have more or less taken over the East Coast, so it's getting like a little out of control, I would say.
Look at that expert pour between the legs.
Yeah, it's like I've been doing this for a decade.
That is something. You learned how to pour while having a baby in your hands.
Yep. How can I change a diaper and drink a beer at the same time?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I will master this in about a week and a half.
Well, that looks like pure orange juice.
A little hazy, huh?
Yeah, you can't see anything through that.
So the East Coast is where the hazy IPA trend kind of started, and it is still very much a trend out that way. Grist House is a cool place. It used to be like a butcher shop or meat processing plant that got turned into a brewery. Has one of the coolest outdoor spaces, big outdoor space. I don't think I've ever actually drank beers inside the building. I've only ever drank beer in this really when you walk up to it, it looks pretty janky because it's like in this tight old Pittsburgh steel neighborhood. All the houses are on top of each other. Pittsburgh, a lot of the houses are narrow but like 6 stories tall. So you're just in this like crazy back neighborhood, and you're like, where are we? And you're in one of the valleys, and it's a cool spot though, and it's like the gate around, because it used to be a meatpacking plant, so it has like barbed wire and razor wire around the fences. You're like, what are we doing?
So you're wondering what the hell you're doing.
And then you get in there and you're like, oh, this is delightful. Razor wire aside.
Well, it's got that juicy nose on it.
Yeah, no, that I just get a hint of fruit on the nose, but I would say not all hazy IPAs are created equally. And if I had to pick a brewery in the Pittsburgh area that's particularly making great hazies, it would be Grist House. So
yeah. There's
a reason why I brought these of all the options that is Pennsylvania.
So is this that typical Simcoe?
This would be
Galaxy?
I think it was Galaxy Mosaic.
Oh, Galaxy Mosaic. Yes.
I find Galaxy hops to be really interesting because they often can be used in English beers. Valkyrie, he makes a Galaxy hop, the Supernova.
Yep.
And then you can also get a lot of citrus notes on it. So the Galaxy hop is a pretty diverse hop. It can do a lot, but that Mosaic is such a workhorse when it comes to citrus juice flavors. You want some juice in your beer, you got to get some Mosaic. And like Founders, I think the Mosaic Promise out of those beers kind of pioneered that use of Mosaics. Yeah, like you said, not much coming through this guy, but
I'll tell you, for not being an IPA drinker, half a glass of that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We always talk about when it comes to like breakfast alcohol, it's like, oh,
Right.
Bloody Marys, mimosas. I would say a citrusy, juicy beer is kind of like drinking a mimosa and/or a coffee stout.
Sure.
Yeah, because I'm not a big bloody guy, and I don't need the sugar from champagne, you know.
Right. Even though, I mean, I still like a good Bloody Mary, and I didn't grow up in Wisconsin, but I've gotten right into that. So
I grew up in this state, and I can't do the bloody.
missing out, man.
No, Beth is giving me the thumbs down. I'm assuming she disapproves.
I would do a bloody with this as a chaser.
Oh yeah, that'd be actually really delightful.
Yeah.
This and just no bloody.
And for those of you that are from out of the state, by the way, we have alcohol with our alcohol in the morning.
Yeah.
And
well, you can't have a bloody without a sidecar, a little chaser.
Yeah, that's I learned when I was in the Denver airport.
That's not a thing everywhere?
No. just Wisconsin and apparently parts of Minnesota.
Parts of Minnesota.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I liked it. I drank it. It is smooth. It is juicy.
It is smooth. Yeah.
A lot of times, a lot of these beers can get a little funky aftertaste. That hazy, if not produced correctly, they can get a little funky.
Or by the time you get to the end of it, you get a little bit of hop fatigue.
Yeah, sometimes you can get a little booze in there too. Just
Right.
don't have enough stuff to cover up that finish. But I don't know, man.
I think it's a well-made beer. That's good.
It's called the Battle Snake, by the way.
Battle Snake.
It's a snake with Viking horns and a sword, which
it is something.
That's fun.
That's some good art.
That's some good art.
Although a higher ABV IPA, so 7%. That's
I would not have guessed. I would have guessed 4.5.
Yeah, it doesn't drink like a high ABV beer.
Yeah. No, the Grist House is awesome, and
the names are something. So this next one is Space Cactus, which
sure,
Space Cactus, and it's from a brewery in Pittsburgh.
Grist House.
Yeah,
all these
I mean, I know,
yeah.
but
not a lot of cactuses nor
not
space.
Not a lot of cactus or space in the Pittsburgh area.
Makes you wonder how people start coming up with names for are we ever going to hit a point of just like oversaturation and ridiculous combinations of words?
No, I think when they've run out, like when some of the normal breweries have run out, they're going to start hiring out Oliphant to name their beers.
Oliphant hasn't even gotten started.
No, they haven't even scratched the surface. They've got all the names for you.
That'd be a fun job.
Wouldn't
be
it?
A beer namer. Give me your beer, let me drink it, and I'll come up with a name.
I think you give those guys 5 minutes, and they'll come up with a couple hundred names for you. Will it make any sense? No, but you're just looking for a name, really.
Yeah, just looking for a name.
Just looking for a name.
Another hazy IPA, by the way, everyone. That one's another super, super cloudy, zero visibility.
A little different smell on it, just a little bit.
This one tastes more like what I would think of East Coast haze. This one has oats in it. Now, if you're not familiar, there's the 7 grains. There's barley, wheat, corn, rice, rye, and oats are the 6 grains that can go into beer making. And oats don't really contribute flavor to beer. They only contribute mouthfeel, which is why people like to use them in hazies because they're going for a heavy mouthfeel. Bell's one time made a beer called Oatsmobile.
Yeah.
Had a horse on it.
Would they consider it a breakfast IPA then?
If it had, oatmeal.
If it has oats in it?
Oh, shit. Oatmeal stouts, I mean, yeah, that's...
Yeah,
that's a thing,
and there's a lot of people that don't drink, what they call heavy beers or trying to watch their calories, even though IPAs tend to have more calories than...
Yeah, beer can be really deceiving on what people would perceive as to be higher calorie beers oftentimes are not.
Right.
Yeah.
Like Guinness.
Guinness is
pretty
like
low.
120 calories or something like that.
I think 110, something like that. It's
yeah.
low.
Usually it comes down to alcohol content. The more alcohol a beer has, typically the more calories it has. Like alcohol
Which is a real bummer.
Directly translates to neighbors got some construction going on, huh?
They do. Yeah.
Backyard, everyone.
You just never really know what's going to go on in the backyard.
We're here on the north side. Everyone's got stuff going on.
We got things. We'll have things going, roughly until the snow flies, and then even after a little bit.
And it'll just be two chubby guys out here drinking beer.
At least it gives something the neighbors something to watch.
Why is that guy wearing snow pants?
Holding a microphone, sitting out there in a chair.
This looks like a movie or something.
That's all right. My neighbor down the way, he knows what we're doing. He's got it.
could do slushy
Oh,
beers.
we could do slushy beers in the winter. Although I still think that it's going to be solid Russian Imperial Stouts pretty much all winter.
There was one of the beer places I worked at. We had a slushy machine, and we kept putting random like beers and stuff in there to be like, let's try this in slushy form. And then we would do that, drink those while we're doing paperwork at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Never turned out well.
It's become a big thing now. The actual slushy, what they consider a slushy beer, Lion's Tail is doing a lot of them.
I've heard about it. I don't know what it all entails, to be honest with you.
I don't either. It's a lot of fruit, to my knowledge, but they're selling the crap out of them. So,
yeah. Is that the next wave of IPA slushies?
It's the next wave in northern Wisconsin.
You mean I wonder how the sugary IPAs are doing elsewhere. In fact, if you live in a different state, let us know.
Yeah, or what is the trend that you're seeing where you are? Because it's completely different here.
Wisconsin has an incredibly sweet palate. People in this state love them some sugar. So like you're seeing pastry stouts and a lot of these milkshake IPAs just dominating. You don't necessarily see that milkshake pastry stout as sweet as they are here. I've not come across any other state that has as sweet of beers.
No,
as Wisconsin.
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet. And
there may be some out there, but honestly,
I also haven't been to like Oklahoma in a spell.
It's probably the only state that I've ever left a beer on the bar too. So
I've left multiple milkshake IPAs on bars, just being like, I can't.
Not even milkshake IPAs. It was the stouts.
Yeah,
the darker beers that just got way too sugary for me and.
But you see people just pounding them.
Yeah, and that's a skill. I can't do it.
Wisconsin has a very, very sweet palate, so there's a reason why Corbel Brandy and Moscato wines do real well here. I think we're the #1 consuming state of Moscato wines.
No kidding.
I didn't even know what a Moscato was until I moved back here, and I was like, what is a Moscato?
Do you know what you don't see in Europe?
Moscato. There's like one place in Italy that apparently drinks a lot of it, and that's Wisconsin is like this random place.
Are they the rather large Italians?
That's like I think where Moscato comes from.
Yeah,
in Italy.
I'm sure.
I mean, are there large Italians? I've never been to Italy.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I've never been to Italy either, but I've seen large Italians.
I've seen large American Italians.
That too.
I always just assumed it was from the pasta, though.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I'm getting a stern look from behind the camera because my wife happens to be half Italian. So.
I also know a lot of big German.
Which is most majority German Americans, and it would come to no surprise to most people that I'm German. So, yeah, I've seen a lot of skinny Germans over in Germany.
Yeah. Oh God, all the Europeans.
Jealous of those people.
Yeah. This is supposed to be a sour. We're trying to switch it up here a little bit for the grist house.
Oh, that was a terrible
I would
pour.
say that kind of before we move on to the next one, the space cactus was pretty solid though. I would say that's more tastes like what I expect from a East Coast.
I would say that because of the oats, that one is even smoother than the first one.
I mean, that is a good observation. Oats do smooth out beer.
Yeah.
Oat flake. That was one of the last beers I brewed by myself was an oat IPA before oat IPA was an actual thing, and I ended up dumping the whole keg. I'm like, this is terrible. It's not easy to do, I guess.
Right.
It came out just pure booze, and I'm like, well, my bad.
You could have cooked with it.
Could have. That's like 5 gallons to cook with.
That's a lot of cooking. Yeah.
I'd have to go to like Valkyrie and make the world's largest brat with it.
There you go. Yeah. You could just boil 5 gallons of brats.
Despite this looking like the other ones, it is.
That is. It's got a sour nose to it.
Just look at the head, though. Like I always encourage people to examine their heads.
Yes, I do too.
Because like sour beers you can tell a lot of what beer you're about to drink by that. I would say IPAs usually have kind of like rocky heads, whereas a stout would have like a creamy, more smoother head. Whereas sour beers get those tiny little bubbles that almost like a champagne vibe to it.
Tiny little
bubbles, and that's just an interesting indicator, I guess.
Sure.
Wow. That is the smoothest sour beer I've ever had.
That's about what I was going to say.
That is a silky smooth sour.
I don't know that I've ever had a silky smooth sour before.
That's interesting. This may be one of the most interesting sours I've had in a spell.
When you just smell it, based purely off the smell, you're already preparing your palate.
You're waiting for that like sour like pierce to the center of your tongue.
And then it's going to go all the way down.
Yep.
None of that.
This one is like a silky sour though.
That's what they should have called it. Well, maybe that's why they call it alien champagne. Although champagne's not silky, so I don't.
Yeah, I would say, like, when I think champagne, I think more effervescent bubbles, like just more of a, because, like, I mean, it has the tiny bubbles, but you don't get those in your mouth.
And dry.
Yeah.
You know, champagne's very dry. This is not.
Oh, that's fantastic.
That's really good.
Grist House, I love you guys. And like I said,
and that's only 4.5%.
A mile away from my old house.
Yeah.
Sons of bitches.
See, and if you ever moved back, they would probably just move to a different location.
Oh, of course they would.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't be the Grist House then. It wouldn't be the Grist
that's true.
House. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun brewery to walk around. Millvale. If you're ever in Millvale. There's also a place there that makes pretty solid wings called Sidelines.
Huh.
Yeah. Highly recommend it.
How about that?
Yeah.
Never been to Pittsburgh. Maybe someday.
You would be uncomfortable. You would.
You think so?
You and Stephanie are the complete opposite. She feels.
You're right.
She feels so uncomfortable in South Dakota because she's like, I feel so exposed. Then if you were in Pittsburgh, you'd be like, I feel claustrophobic.
I feel claustrophobic here.
My point exactly.
Yeah.
Me and you went driving through the bluffs over by my parents' house, and you're like, I feel claustrophobic.
Look at all these trees. Closing in on you.
You would be so uncomfortable.
See where I'm from, you can see a storm coming for hours away. You know, and you go, yep. I got a little time yet.
I got some time.
It's over there.
Yeah, I know. It would be a real experience to take you to Pittsburgh.
I bet it would. Taking me to any city is a real experience.
Yeah, no, that is
especially if I've been drinking.
But if you're drinking good beer.
No, it's true. Yeah. It's true. Beth just has a hard time shutting me up.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Take you to the Church Brew Works. That's a nice compromise.
Yeah. Anyway, last week, and for those of you that have made it this far, we talked about shaving beards off in October, and
I shave my head.
Yeah, you're going to shave your head. The only person that responded was Andy, so we need more than that. If you've made it this far, anyway.
Yeah.
We always include the fun stuff at the end of these episodes. So, anyway, comment about that. Otherwise, I'm getting the signal we're almost out of time.
Because if we do a beard growing competition, you already won. Like, there's no me beating you.
Well, that's the best part of a contest.
Now,
if you know that
my afro, now we're talking.
There's a reason that I wear a hat. I have no hair on my head. Anyway,
when did COVID start? That's how long this is taking.
Make sure that you check us out on all the social media channels. If you haven't already done it, just subscribe to us right here on YouTube. You don't even have to hit the bell like Alex would say. You can just subscribe to us.
I don't think I've ever hit the bell on anything.
Probably not. So do that. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, all the other social media channels. And, of course, we'll have beer next week, and hopefully it'll be somewhat nice.
Who knows what the weather is? That's almost half the fun of the show.
No idea. Just tune in to see what the weather's like in Wisconsin.
Start doing a competition, guess the weather.
We'll see you next week. Prost.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw, you can click down below where there's some more episodes for you to watch. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on episodes that you do watch. We hope to see you next time.